What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. Let's take a look at the astrology and a couple of other things I've been thinking about. Today, Wednesday, the 5th of December, 2018. It's a great day in astrology because this is the last day of Mercury Retrograde. We can worry rather too much about Mercury Retrograde. The lessons are always good. And when we're close to the end of it, we start actually seeing and understanding a little at least of what the lessons mean. Mercury stations direct tomorrow here in UK. On the 6th of December, which is the time it happens. And then after that, we have about 2 weeks of post-shadow to Mercury retrograde, ending on the 24th of December. And that is the time when many, many more answers to things come in, and it really starts to seem clear. But it's beginning to look clearer already because we're on the last day of it. The moon is in Scorpio, and she is 4.4% full at the moment. We could perhaps make the mistake of thinking there isn't much lunar energy around us today because she is so small and because she is waning right down to zero. But Friday, the new moon, is going to be a very powerful time. And in terms of affirmations, the time of the new moon is just put my cup of tea down a minute, sorry. The time of the new, I can wave my hands about now, see. I've forgotten what I was talking about now, see, because I'm waving my hands about. Now, the new moon is a very powerful time, really, because if we are lined up the right way at new moon, or we use the new moon time to get lined up the right way, then by the time we get to full moon, we'll have been really in tune with the cycle all the way along, and that will make it a much more powerful full moon when she comes. But that is not coming till Friday. Right now she's 4.4% full in Scorpio, and under the Scorpio as influence, as I've been saying the last couple of days, it's very difficult to see any middle ground in a thing. So if you get into any kind of anxious conditions or problems today, do remember to keep looking at that middle ground, because that's the way you're going to actually see clearly through to good results, basically. I think it's the best way to put it. The moon right now is sextile Pluto. That's pretty much the character of today. It's good to be open to change with this alignment and to let go of inhibitions. The alignment works very well if you can do that. And when I say be open to change, it doesn't mean that you have to let people change your whole life around and tear the things away from you that matter the most. Not at all. It can feel like that because this alignment does kind of bring that feeling that it's going to be a big change, and there is a certain amount of anxiety bubbling up about Friday, which I shall get to in a second as well. So if you can be open to change, and if you can really let go of those inhibitions, take an attitude basically of allowing rearrangements. It's not that you've got to drop everything, lose everything. You've got to be willing to let things change a bit. Might be uncomfortable, but life is change, my friends. If we didn't have change in life, it would feel as if we were dead, even though it was still here. It's all about change. So don't be afraid of it. Do allow some, but evaluate it carefully. It's your life. Why should anyone else mess around with it? No way. Well, it's something that's probably going to mess around with most of us a fair bit. It's coming up on Friday. I'm now raking through my bits of paper to find out where it's at. Okay. Right, it's on the other side after all that. Right, so the new moon happens. It's actually 11:20 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday the 6th, on the Pacific coast of the States and Canada. On the east side of the States and Canada, 2:20 a.m. on Friday the 7th of December. Here in UK, 7:20 a.m. this Friday, the 7th of December, is when we actually get this new moon. And there are other things going on around it which add to it. We've actually got an alignment coming up on Friday, which we haven't seen, or late Thursday, which we haven't seen for a long, long time, going back to about 40 years, I think, to the late 1970s. Here in UK, we all became aware of the Piper Alpha oil platform disaster. It was a terrible thing. There was an enormous loss of life, a great sense of pain and unhappiness in the country. Your heart goes out to someone who was burned alive, eh? And many, many people were burned alive. There's no plus side to that, really, for excuse me, for the relatives who were left behind. Of course there isn't. But there's a kind of a plus side to it in a rather painful way, I have to admit, in that new rules came into being. It's very unlikely that we'll see a disaster exactly like that ever again. But, you know, stuff's out there waiting to happen. What's basically going to happen is Sun and Moon are going to be conjunct each other at exactly 15 degrees Sagittarius. Mars and Neptune are going to be conjunct each other at 13 degrees Pisces. And those two things, those two little parcels of astrology are going to conjunct each other. So it's an absolute stinker. I usually go like that, I don't know, but this is, oh, that hurt a bit. Which Friday might do, so do be careful, but don't let it become a worry, okay? Whatever happens always is going to make us stronger. This isn't about endings at all, because it's happening on the new moon, and we've got to remember that it's a new moon. Look up, look forward, and don't worry about what happens. The kind of effects I would expect to see with this alignment would be around kind of liquids, explosions, possibly the sea. But if you see what's been happening in the UK Parliament in the last 24 hours, I think we might be looking at political turbulence as much as anything. I hope I'm right. I do not like to see people, dying in these terrible disasters. I do like to see governments getting knackered. I don't support one party or the other, but right now I think one particular party in the UK had way too much power, and it was smashed away from them. Half their own party voted against them. Brilliant stuff. I won't spoil it, but I'm going to go and have a cigar now. Watch the news, listen to the news. It's a cracker. Have a good day, because today's a cracker as well, my friends. Anxiety starts building up a bit tomorrow, but there'll be plenty I'll find something to smile about, okay? I'll be back tomorrow with something to smile about. There you go. Keep it real, keep it Astro Truth. Thanks for watching. Share me around if you can. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. If you haven't enjoyed it, there's no harm in doing that. Sends me a message and it all helps my engagement figures. Leave me a comment. We'll share the journey, my friends. Have a brilliant day and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.